For example, the family is not only comprised of the nuclear, which means the father, the mother, the children. No, it's that plus the bigger family, and everyone who belongs to the household of that particular leader belongs to that family. So for example, the staff in the house, no? So mga kusinera, mga kusinero, mga hardinero, even ang mga business acquaintances mo. You see, for example, ikaw negosyante ka, ang tanan nga mga supplier mo, ang mga buyer mo, they belong to you as a family. You belong to each other as a family. So there's a fictive relationship, and that is the concept of the family in the Greco-Roman world. So you see, my dear friends, the idea of family in the socio-historical context is greater than just merely the father, the mother, and the children. But it also includes all the household staff, even the business relationships. No? In other words, it's a kind of a patronage system. So we have one Paterfamilia, the head of the family, and the rest are under his authority. Not necessarily that he has the authority over you in your lives, but you consider him as a figure of influence, a figure of honor, and a figure of prestige. So if you belong to a Paterfamilia that is honorable and prestigious, you also have this pride of being part of that familia. So the church now, as I said, from a socio-historical perspective, which is the framework that I'm using in this video, and I'm not entering into the theological, you see now that in the church there is also a fictive relationship. So in our previous lesson we learned about the Domus Ecclesiae, which is the house of the church. So you magnify that in the societal level. What we have now is the parish, in a sense, no? Which we are very familiar with. So it belongs to the sort of Domus Ecclesiae. Now the church, the house of the church. So our parish church, simbahan naton, masiling amo na siya ang balay sang katilingban. Just like sa mga balay, may ara siya sang leader dira. Ti amo na ang pare, no? That's why we call the priest as father. Kaya nga how? Because he is the Paterfamilia of this fictive relationship, no? Of this relationship between Christians and under his care and under his guidance. No? So you can see now the Domus Ecclesia is magnified in the Domus Ecclesiae, in the reality of the church that which we are familiar with. So we have our own families in our own homes. So when we have our own heads, the parents there as the head of the family. But in a more wider, rather in a wider and larger scale, you'll find that all these families are gathered together under another family, not related by affinity or by consanguinity, but by a fictive relationship, which means that the priest now is the householder, and the rest are his children, his flock. So that is now in this particular time that we're undergoing, our fictive relationship in the parish is, although still existing, but we cannot exercise it. No? Hindi kita kasimba, hindi kita kalakat sa balay sang Dios agud nga maghiusa sa lawas ka dugo ni Kristo, no, mag-communion, no? So we cannot do that. So what do? We stay at home. Pero wala ka mong ginapabayaan. Sa bagay nga masiling nato na we have our online masses, streamed in the internet, or even you can see that from the television and so on and so forth. No? So it's part of the way by which we try to connect with you, even though we are not physically connected because of the COVID-19 health crisis that we are going, the pandemic that we are undergoing. So what do we do now? Our proposal is, while we are in this situation that is not normal, we go back to that reality of the Domus Ecclesiae, that we recover, that we discover again the joy of being a church in the home, no? As a domestic church, as a church that is there in our own houses. Kaysa bagay, no, kasubong nga panahon, madamo naging sa aton nga mga kabataan ang wala na sang sense of home. And that is something that we have to recover. Kung malagisa sila sa simbahan, sa kapilya or kung sa parokya na they cannot feel the sense of home, which is true. So iba na ito ng mga utod na nagasalaylo sa ibang denominasyon o kung ibang reliyon, okay, because they can feel the sense of family, which is what they are longing for, because of the reality that when they go, kung ara sa ilabalay, hindi man lang batyagan ang sense of family. That's why pangitao nila ini sa iban, and they would, of course, primarily they would look for it in the church, in the parish. Kung hindi man lang makita they will look for it somewhere else. And most of the time sa mga renewal movements, no, may na they find it there sa mga renewal movements and the likes. Pero kung hindi pa nila makita most of the time nagasaylo sa mga protestante ng mga simbahan, or still would bring them away from the church. Okay. That is something that we have to work on. No? Sa kabagay nga dapat natin siguro ugrahon sa mga parokya natin. How can we create a sense of family, recovering that being church? But I think the key, one of the keys for this, to solve this problem, is to try to do also our part. And what is that? That in our own homes, we try to recreate that sense of being family. Paano na siya mahimo? Tinamba ko naman sa naligad, no? By praying together. Kasi galing problema sa aton, kaya doon nakuya kita especially the parents, some of the parents are hesitant to para sa ila do. Father, dalagko na sila. That's why sometimes we don't exercise our being parents, because we are afraid of exercising the authority that was given by God to you as a parent, no? Abay na sa father, abay kabalon mas lang mga muyo na sila lang no. That is shall we say, with almost like giving up, no? You're being a mother or being a father. Tiyan mo na, that's why since subong nga panahon, mga kabataan, they would want to have it creatively. So you can be creative in your prayers, in some sense, no? Sa mabika do ka masilin naton naburingan sila kay tungod nga sa bagay, paano maburingan sila kay pinalumbaan na man ta. For example, mga di sa Santo Rosario, hindi magay tadlong pangadita kay abay pa na amin nagsugpo na ta, no? So it becomes like it's parang we are showing to them that we also are bored with these prayers, no? So kasi para sa mga last night I was watching a YouTube video of a certain religious group here in Bacolod. Kang ilang style sa pangamuy sa ilang mga kabataan, sa ilang young people is almost akin to Catharsis, no? What is Catharsis? Na lang damo ko problema sa sulod, damo energy, pagwa mo bala. So, lumpat ka da, gasingitan ka da, or nagahimui mo ka da sa mga body movements. So for them, that's prayer already. So, it seems to be a cathartic movement, no? Which is unique. I was telling myself, oh, this is a unique way of praying of this particular religious group here in Bacolod na cathartic ang ilayang kasi bagay no ng mga prayer tongues na ang mga praise and worship na can also be cathartic. Pero ila to is really plain and simple catharsis kaya nga nagkakanta na, nagka-drum na, nagka-beat na. And then the young people, they're just jumping and shouting and doing everything. I mean, motions, movements, pag gusto sila. So, think ko, this is catharsis. Kaya, of course, I am familiar with that because I underwent also one of the modules in our PSI, our psycho-spiritual integration is catharsis. And I consider the elements of catharsis. So, that's one way of the creatively packaged prayer. And that's why we need to be more familiar with the various ways by which we pray. Okay? Ang ato nga prayer nga mataan, amon na no? The oral prayer. And then we forgot that there are other prayers. So, I think it's time to us to recover and discover the wealth, the treasures of prayers in the church. Okay, so but that will be in the next video siguro about the various forms of prayer that we can explore. But what is important now in this time when we are being asked to stay at home and be part of the solution is that we gather again those that are under our influence, under the roof, our own roof, under our authority or influence, to be together again and to pray together as one family. As Pater Peyton would always say, a family that prays together stays together. But what is important now is we have to go back to our experience of the church in our own family. I will see you again next time for our next topic. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.